The status quo of the comic book landscape has changed drastically since Wesley Snipes' 1998 film Blade was released. With the innovation of cinematic universes, prequels, sequels, and requels according to Scream 6's logic, we have officially entered a new phase in Hollywood, and Shazam! Fear the Gods is a recent victim of it. I'll get to that in a second. After witnessing a wholesome change of pace comic book movie in the first Shazam film that was more grounded and focused on family and heart with genuine humor, and honestly a great story about an orphan wanting his biological mother because of this cherishable memory he has, only to find out it wasn't as great as once remembered, really hit my heart. Even though it only made around $360 million in the box office, it still reached the hearts of many as it took home an additional $30 million when it was on DVD. Talk about a golden gem DC discovered. The challenge comes with the inevitable sequel. And with sequels comes bigger everything. Longer action scenes, bigger story, bigger villains. You always need to beat the previous installment to keep the interest, and even though I highly enjoy Shazam 2, I believe it lost some of the core elements from the first film that made it different from the others in its space. It has been reduced to a generic superhero film that relies on special effects, repeated punching, and traditional superhero tropes. I loved seeing the film tackle the actual meaning behind Shazam's lore and the acronym of his name. And even though I enjoyed it, Fear the Gods just felt like the status quo. I can always go deeper in my many positives but also mixed opinions about the film if y'all are interested, but I actually wanted to explore a trend I've been seeing lately from the comic book culture and the general moviegoer. We demand high quality. Simple as that. Based on the audience reception, the critic scores, and even sometimes the box office performances of Marvel's Phase 4, plus Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and DC's recent movies such as Black Adam, Shazam, the audience isn't interested in just a good time at the movies about a generic hero's journey anymore. They want the best and only the best stories that provide an entertaining yet unique story that actually needs to be told. Quantumania had a story about an ex-con father that wants the lost time he missed from his daughter and accidentally falls in a sci-fi universe with an ultimate dictator that has the power of time. The ultimate item that the main hero Scott desires, the antagonist Kane the Conqueror has possession of, but based on the word of mouth, moviegoers felt it was an average comic book movie. Black Adam had the same response, and Shazam! Fear the Gods is continuing the trend. We will see if Kevin Feige and James Gunn can rise to the demand from the audience in their respective universes, but many people wonder why these movies like Ant-Man Quantumania and Shazam! Fear the Gods aren't performing as they should. In Shazam's case, many people are blaming Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for declining to cameo in Shazam, and The Rock declining Shazam, his arch nemesis in the comics, to appear in the post-credit scene for Black Adam. And instead, The Rock was trying to bring back Henry Cavill's Superman into the mix, causing the lack of political intrigue into Shazam's upcoming movie, which is now Fury of the Gods, right? Others will say it's because of the lack of marketing and it being a stacked month in March. I mean, just look at all the movies being released this month. Scream 6, Creed 3, John Wick 4, and Dungeons & Dragons. A month of sequels and a blockbuster fantasy adventure film, right? Now, with the increase of ticket prices, the rise of the importance of the Rotten Tomato scores, whether we like it or not, and witnessing some of the highs that the comic book landscape has to offer, Shazam 2 just fell short. And not for the reason you think. Shazam isn't even bad. I would highly recommend it to anyone looking for a lighthearted journey about a family of heroes discovering their inner wants while having to fight a dragon to watch Shazam! Fear the Gods, okay? It just didn't meet the newly elevated benchmark the audience created. And I don't need to act like I have this secret sauce to magically make comic book movies universally beloved and performing crazy at the box office, alright? The solutions are clear as 2022 and 2021 provided about what is needed to take it to the next level. Spider-Man No Way Home, The Batman, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever all share the same key elements that led to their critical and audience reception, even box office reception. All three involve personal stakes. Regardless how visually massive the plot might seem, like the multiverse, or an edgelord looking to purify his city with a flood, or an underwater invasion from a hidden kingdom. Peter Parker deals with his actions finally catching up to him, Bruce Wayne has to understand what mark he wants to leave for his city, and Shuri suffers through losing her brother and having to protect her kingdom from outsiders. If you compare to other recent movies, such as Quantumanium, Black Adam, and Shazam 2, what were the personal stakes? The other key element needed to elevate the status quo is returning to standalone movies with connectivity as a complement, not a requirement. Back in my day, and I'm not as old as you guys might think I am by saying that line, but back in my day, it was more common to watch a superhero movie that focused on its singular story and resolved its major plot threads, but left some minor points that don't need to be resolved now, but could be explored in future films. Look at Wakanda Forever. The main plot was resolved involving the war with Shuri and Namor's war. But there's still something explored with Namor and outsider countries' attraction to Wakanda's vibranium, right? The comic book landscape has changed because we have seen what the peak for superhero movies can bring to cinema. The fan service, the thematic storytelling, the comedic banter, the overarching setup and payoff within a cinematic universe is something that has been executed well. And the general audience is now voting with their wallet on the type of stories they'll accept. Which is why we will start seeing Marvel, DC, and other popular studios start to take notice. But let me know how y'all feel about this new elevated status quo we are taking the comic book landscape. Do you guys even think it's elevated? Do you guys think there's other reasons on why these movies just aren't doing well? I would love to hear down in the comment section. I'll see y'all next time.